Hello again everybody, back with another video, and this one I'm calling The Code Gives It Away, and of course it's linked to the coronavirus hoax that's well into its high-speed running mode at the moment. And what I'm going to do is look at quite a few things other than the code, but just giving it a short name and try to avoid using the CV word in the title. Now, what I'm going through in this, I'm going to look at a recent video deletion. I've had 3 videos deleted now, and none of them have got a strike or penalty, so maybe the next one the channel will go, but who knows. There is a backup channel called Matrix Breakout 7, so if you want to search for that, please feel free to do so. I'm going to look at some recent code, and seems to be a lot of 7s appearing. The 777 code, the 77 code, lots of it starting to appear. And of course, that is the main hoax code. And for me, as soon as I see those, I've got a good idea that the event is a hoax. Then I'll look at something called generative adversarial networks, an image generation, and what they can do in terms of creating faces and characters out of nothing that look pretty real. Then we'll look at the social distancing and the lunacy of lockdowns and what maybe the real reason behind them is. And then finally we'll look at what Bill Gates has got to say as a solution to everything. And you can probably guess what that is. But first we'll look at video deletion. Now, I put a video up and I called it Media Circus, the CV hoax. And here we go, look. It violates their community guidelines and policies and whatever. And very, very interesting. It's not resulted in a community guideline strike. So basically they can remove videos off your channel. And unless you look at your email, you don't really know they've gone. I think it wasn't this one, it was the previous one that I went to answer some comments on it. And I started answering comments on the top video. And then realised it wasn't the video that I thought it was because the last one had gone. But 153news.net is back up and running. And if I can actually get something to load up on there, I will put a link in the description. But at the moment, I can't load anything. So just keep an eye out for that. I will add it whenever I can get the video on. And I have made this video slightly different, a little bit more hard hitting. And there's a little bit on Bill Gates that's also in this video, but I'm not planning to put this video on 153. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling on. Let's get on to the main part of the video. So, some recent codes, and as I said, the 7 codes are out in force. And you don't really need to look at any of the other bullshit because the 7s tell you what it is. So this one is brilliant from the John Hopkins Make-up Code Numbers site. Obviously they have to tie it in so it's well within the natural death rate for countries and the world. But look at this, total confirmed 1777666. It just doesn't get any more hoax coded than that, folks. It doesn't. Here's another one. New Dutch corona cases rise by 777. Do I need to say any more? Here's another one. New York is flattening the curve. Bit of a wordplay on the flat Earth there, because I'm sure the Earth isn't what they tell you it is. And of course, it's flattening the curve, but it sees 777 more deaths. Now, this is April the 11th. I've called it. I must admit, I have changed that a little bit there. Coronavirus news, as it was called. And these are the people that are, look, she's this woman here. Birks or whatever, Dr. Birks. She's social distancing, standing in front of the Freemasonic pillars there, look. And look at the code, at least 343 homeless. And what is 343? Well, it's 3 by 4 plus 3 for 3 sevens for 777, but it's also the sum of multiplying 3 sevens together. A key code number, that one. And, oh, let's just go back there. There's something else I missed here. So far, 37 homeless people have been discharged. Look at that, 3 sevens for 777 again. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so this one, nearly 8,000 cases of coronavirus in Indiana. 343 deaths again. There we go, for our 7 by 7 by 7. Now this one is Africa Newsroom, and Nigeria has, guess how many? 343 for 7 by 7 by 7 confirmed cases. And I've just seen this because this 91 discharged and 10 deaths. 911, would you believe? And honestly, I'd only just seen that. This one is not too far away from me in Warrington, and 2 more deaths at Warrington Hospital as confirmed cases of COVID-19. Is it F in hell? It's not. It's not COVID-19. It's a hoax. It climbs to 343. 7 by 7 by 7 again. This one's Latvia. This is from the Worldometer. And I have tried to put these in date order this time, so a bit of extra effort for you there, guys. And coronavirus cases, 666. There we go for our key number there. And look how many have recovered, 44 for our kill number, 44. That's, by the way, 11 plus 9 plus 12 plus 12 gives you 44. And COVID-19, if you add that up in English, comes to 63 for 666. Which, do you think that's a coincidence? I don't. And now what have we got? Coronavirus count. Queens leads New York City with more than 33,000. So we've got a 33 there. And we've also got 2,100 deaths for our 21 for 3 sevens for 777. And look at this here. According to the Department of Health, as of 4:30, 4 plus 3 for a 7. On April 14, 2 sevens, we've actually got 777 there. There's probably more code in those numbers, but I haven't really looked at that. So this one is looking at Derbyshire, and the number of cases in Derbyshire in the UK has increased by 22. So there's our disorder number, appears a lot in this hoax, and it's increased to 777. Here, meanwhile, in Oldham, the number of cases is now 370 for our 3 sevens for 777. Absolutely packed full of code. We've also got here, look, a 14 for 2 sevens for 77. We've got a 61 for a 7. We've got also a 25 here for a 7. So code galore. This one here, this is a good one. Number of coronavirus cases in Pennsylvania. That's the biggest one-day increases. Tops 4,000. Deaths of 48 for our 12 for 21 for 777. There have been 33,777 negative tests. Can you believe this code? Look at that. 33 and 777. Now this one's Romania. Look at this, guys. Number of cases, 7,707 for our 777 code. Deaths, 392. Adds up to 14 for 2 sevens for 77. And this number here, add them together, we get 16 for a 7. And it's a bit of an ad here, look. happens to have a 2 and a 5 for a 7 in it too. That could be a coincidence, of course. Now we've got the London coronavirus map. Oh, come on, guys. Get on the television. Watch these figures. Watch the map. Get yourself scared. And look at this one. It says where every coronavirus case in London as city death toll hits 3377 for our 33 code and our 77 code. Again, doesn't get much more coded than that. Now here we have Thailand. This is hot off the press today. Thailand reports 33 new cases and no new deaths. So they're doing pretty well there, aren't they? Well, on the numbers game, because that's all this is. So they've got the 33. And if part of this article, I've made it bigger so you can read it. Thailand reports the 33 new infections. And that brings the national total up to 2733 for our 77 and our 33 code. And this one's Lithuania. Look how many deaths they have. They've got 33. There's also, if we look at this number here, there's a 12 and a 12 for 21 for 777 for 3 sevens. Okay, so sometimes you look at these victims of any of the psyops, the school shootings, the terrorist attacks, and now the coronavirus hoax. And you sometimes see some faces that look pretty convincing, but they aren't quite there. And they're pretty close. And I've been questioning what that was. And this one here, look, 33-year-old Miami-Dade nurse dies suddenly after showing intensifying symptoms. And this one is Danielle DiCenso. And look at DiCenso for a start. It's 33 in Pythagorean numerology. But look at this face. There's just something. And this was a 21-year-old from the UK. Just again, something that doesn't look quite right. And one of the channels I'm sub to, I think this is the backup channel, has got a really good video on this thing called Generative Adversarial Networks, or GAN. And NVIDIA seems to be leading the way. And all these faces here have been generated using this software system. So basically they can make people up. And it's very, very difficult to work out whether they're real or not. Sometimes, like those others, there's a little difference, but this stuff is really interesting. And rather than me go on too much about it, I'll put a link in the description to Pink Prairie Rose channel, and the video is called GAN Not For Your Benefit, and we'll take a look at that. Well, I won't, you will hopefully. The link is in the description and you can find it here as well. So let's move on. But that is really interesting. So let's have a look at social distancing again. I've already talked about this, but this is an example of social distancing, and we'll see this lady in the next little video that I'm going to clip into this presentation. Here she is, Dr. Deborah Birx. And look how bloody close she is to all these clowns here. All these clowns, all sitting together. They are not bothered about the virus because they know it's fake. And all they're doing is encouraging you to wash and distance and wear masks. And none of these Polly puppets, they aren't governing anything, guys. They are just actor type puppets that are playing a part. But let's take a look at that video now.
But in the meantime, I mean, time is not on our side as we are looking at that data, and certainly such an approach would be preferable. You have to continue to have this social distancing, right? I mean, I'd seen one estimate that says if you don't flatten the curve, we could have 2 million deaths.
This is absolutely correct, and that's why the president and the vice president yesterday kept coming back.
This is absolutely correct, and that's why the president and the vice president yesterday kept coming back
To what we need to be doing right now. What the president is doing is looking for the future and looking what we can do in the future, not looking and change what we're doing now. Please, he's made it clear, and the vice president, continue to follow the guidelines of social distancing and all of the other things about knowing where your hands are and washing your hands.
Which is the success we're having. Okay? Please, you could put it on.
People should be more concerned right now with the flu. A lot of people are concerned about the coronavirus because they're hearing a lot of news about it right now. But the reality is, comparing it to the flu, for example, it's not even close to being at that stage. What if it is worse? Is this a moment where maybe countries put politics aside, a little bit of pride aside, and do we have U.S. officials, should U.S. professionals such as yourself get involved? How worried should Americans be about coronavirus? Coronavirus is not going to cause a major risk in the United States. Well, we've asked them to accelerate whatever they're doing in terms of the vaccine. We will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days. To unleash the full power of the federal government to this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency. Medicare patients can now visit any doctor by phone or video conference at no additional cost. The first 1 million masks will be available immediately. As there were more cases, and it was clear that it was spreading out of China, where it originated. The president took this move that he was widely criticized for by Democrats, leaders, and Republicans at the time. Keep transmissions to a minimum. He was accused of xenophobia. He was accused of making a racist move. At the end of the day, it was probably effective because it did actually take a pretty
Doctor, we are spending billions of dollars to help people. In the case of one that Dr. Birx is very much involved in, AIDS, billions of dollars. And you know what? It's a great thing. Nobody talks about it. Nobody gives us credit. We do that, and we do it very direct. But we're spending $500 million to the World Health Organization, and there's something very bad going on. And you know what? I've gotten very much involved. It's been going on for a long period of time, and we don't want to be the suckers anymore. So it's cold out. We will talk to you tomorrow. Big day tomorrow. Very big day. Thank you.
President, if Dr. Tedros is removed, would you change your mind?
So there you go, Dr. Birx. Do as I say, not do as I do. And why? If you're so in the know and know how bad and infectious this virus is, why haven't you got a face mask on? Why aren't you wearing gloves? And why aren't you keeping your magical force field of 2 meters apart? You're not, because you know it's fake. That's why. Now, this is something on Denmark. Denmark goes back to school. Children line up 6 feet apart. It's actually 6'6" for 66. And 2m for 2 meters is 213s for 26 for 66. So the 2 meters is 66 coded, guys. So they get the code everywhere. So they're 6 feet apart outside class as the country eases coronavirus lockdown restrictions. And what came up on here is they're making face shields, whatever this is supposed to do, I don't know, but they're making these things to try and make them look trendy. They want people walking around looking like this and in face masks. So you've got a shield and a mask here. Look at this bollocks. Fucking drives me mad. Sorry about the language. But here we have the Danish waiting to go into their school with their kids, primary school, and of course they're, well, 2 meters apart. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. So let's say we've got a 10km/h breeze blowing this way. So anything this person breathes out, he's going to travel here pretty quickly. Now, a 10km/h breeze is 2.8 meters per second, and it will transfer any spittle droplets from here to the other person in 0.7 seconds for a 2 meter gap. So when they're all sat outside and it's windy, they're all sharing their sputum. And it's healthy to do that because you need bacteria to live. But this is a complete joke. Can't you see the 2 meter thing? It's a visual thing. It's coded. It doesn't do a lot. And it's visual. People can see it. And they think, oh, we've got to do this. I go out for a walk and I'll keep my distance from people because I know they look terrified. I do it for their feelings more than anything. But I'm finding it's becoming a bit of a bloody habit. It drives me mad. But let's have a look at Denmark and what they've made the decision on. So the Danish population is 5.8 million. And the percent infected, according to the numbers here, 6879, is about 0.12%. That's quite high, really, but it means that 99.9% of the population haven't yet caught the disease. So basically, nobody's had it and got any natural immunity. And I've only put this in brackets because it's fake, really. Now, the death rates in Denmark is surprisingly higher than a lot of countries. 9.8 per 1,000 people. The daily death rate is 155 per day. So for the entire case, they've only had 309, which again is 3 sixes for 666 with a bit of code there. But let's take a look at what they did in the lockdown. So when they locked down, they were on 513 currently infected. And this is from the you can look at all these figures from the Worldometer. So the partial release is on April the 15th. So they're allowing kids to go into school, sit in rooms 2 meters apart, probably with no air conditioning, just spittle droplets as they speak and as the teacher speaks just build up in the air. They can float around for about 30 minutes before they settle, according to their own science. And that probably is about right for very small droplets emitted from the mouth. Will stay airborne for quite some time. So that room is slowly going to fill and the 2 meters are not going to make any difference. So they've released the lockdown and they've got 3,624 active cases. So compare that to this. They've actually got 7.1 times more infected people now in Denmark to when they had the lockdown. And 99.9% of the population is still to catch it. So isn't this a worse situation than this based on their so-called science and logic? Where here we've only got 513 and we've locked down, and now we've got 3,624 and we're starting to open up again. Yet hardly anybody has actually had the disease. So isn't this going to take off even quicker and go up like this? Of course it is, based on their science. But their science is based on a lie. It's based on a lie that this virus is real and it's killing people. Other things are killing people, as we'll see. But it's lunacy. Now, it's my belief that we actually need sunlight and we need a reasonable, not excessive, but a reasonable exposure to the bacteria that live around us and on us and in us. We have basically a symbiotic, probably mutually beneficial relationship with bacteria, and we need to be able to have that exposure to live a healthy life. We need a fit immune system. It needs to exercise. And the way it exercises is we give it bugs to fight. We also need peace of mind and contact with other human beings to lead a happy and healthy life. It's human nature to reach out the hand of friendship to others, to be with friends, to enjoy other human company. And look what is currently being promoted. We've got fear of death. Death, that's for yourself and for your family members. We fear neighbours and friends now because they are potential mass murderers. They can carry this fantastically elusive virus, this virus that can be carried and distributed with no symptoms at all. So everybody is a potential killer. And we've got fear of prosecution for breaking the stupid lockdown rules that we have. They're also creating a snitch mentality where people who probably are awake to the fact this is fake and they go out and do other things, they've got people snitching on them to the authorities to come, and men with blooming armed men to come and drag them out the houses or fine them or whatever. We're also promoting a sterile type living environment, cleaning hands, cleaning surfaces, removing the bacteria that we need to be exposed to. House arrest, some people can't get, who live in flats, can't go into gardens, can't get sunlight. And we're removing contact with friends that we need for a happy life. So don't you see that all this is really, really bad for you guys? This is going to kill you, not the fake virus. And yes, we can blame the government, or the governors, because they're just polly puppets, as I call them. It's the elite that run the world. Now they are pushing this, and they're pushing it through authority, or so-called authority. They're pushing it through the mainstream media. But the main people to blame for what's happening to everybody are the sheeple. Sheeple who would, if you ask them, do you trust a politician? Probably most of them would say no. But they trust them over this. And they are doing everything to themselves here that is bad for you. And they're also bringing the people that are awake down with them. So I mainly blame the sheeple for all this. So if you're watching this video and you're not awake, wake up, please. Wake up, else you're going to bring everybody else down with you. And I was a sheeple once, so I have to be careful what I say. I'm not now, but you are driving everybody mad. You are bringing this on yourselves, guys. You are. Anyway, let's move on. And this coronavirus is a hoax. The disease is a hoax. And basically, life as you know it is being destroyed and blamed on a phantom virus. Now, the BBC are trying their best to push the lie, but they're also giving you clues that it is a lie. So this heading is 9 in 10 dying of existing illnesses. Now, could it be possible these existing illnesses are the things that are killing them? And this so-called virus is fake and they're just blaming the deaths on that. And in the UK, we've got daily death rates of something like 700-800. But there are 1,500 to 1,600 people dying every day in the UK. Now, if you switch some of those to this fake coronavirus, you've got your numbers. They're making them up, and they're probably refining them to give them the code numbers they're looking for, but they're making them up. But they could be real deaths that are just being transferred onto this COVID-19 shite. But look at that, 91% of cases had other health issues. Now, if you take these people who are unhealthy and you do what I've just described by locking them in a house, removing them from bacteria, removing the will to live because they can't do things that they used to do, that will be killing them off quicker. This thing needs to stop, and the only people that can stop it are the people themselves. The sheeple. Wake up, sheeple. Wake up. It's almost too late now. Now, I'm just going to play out at the end of this video what Bill Gates' answer to the problem is. Bill obviously has the answer. There he is with his smug face. Now, this is from a BBC interview. And the last time I looked, you could comment and thumbs this one down. And it's been massively thumbs down. It's so pleasing to see how many comments are on there. I've commented and thumbed it down. Had a couple of sheeple come back at me answered them back, and they haven't come back at me since then. So hopefully, you never know, it might have woken one or two people up. And I'll put the link in the description, so please go along and have a look at that. And if you want, thumbs it down and comment if that's not been removed yet. But let's take a look at what Bill Gates has to say.
And the thing that'll get us back to the world that we had before coronavirus is the vaccine and getting that out to all 7 billion people. And so the efforts to test those, to build the factories, to understand, is it safe and ready to go? That's a global problem. This is the whole world working on probably the most urgent tool that's ever been needed. I and other health experts were saying that this is the greatest potential downfall the world faced. We definitely will look back and wish we had invested more so that we could quickly have all the diagnostics, drugs, and vaccines. Very few countries are going to get an A grade for what that scrambling looked like.
That there should be more international cooperation. Can you try and give us a sense of what that you think should look like in practice? You'll be aware a lot of people in the UK are asking what is a very simple and straightforward question, which is, when will there be a vaccine? How do you see that?
People like myself and Tony Fauci are saying 18 months, but there will be a trade-off. We'll have less safety testing than we typically would have. We'll write checks for those factories faster than governments can, and they'll come along. It definitely shouldn't be money limited. It should be, all the best constructs, full speed ahead, science limited. Well, of course, if you want to wait and see if a side effect shows up 2 years later, that takes 2 years. We will, I think, be able to get some safety indications, but this is a public good.
This is a public good.